didn't want to have children and you were dating, then how much easier, because you didn't have this thing of the biological clock. You could go out and go, oh, okay, it's just not an issue. And then a friend of mine who chooses not to have children or doesn't want to get married said to me, it's a real struggle, because just like it would be a struggle when you go on a first date and, you know, some people want to talk about how many kids do you want, what age, you know, how long do you want to wait till you have children. That can be very intimidating for someone. So can the idea of not having children. If you are going out and dating people and you're saying, listen, I don't want to have children, it's having one of those very serious conversations up front. But at the same point, it's still something that you have to address, because it's a compatibility issue. If someone's dating and they want to have children and someone's dating and they don't, that at some point, they're going to have this conversation. So is anyone interested in no one's dating with children?
What about if you can't have any more children? I'm in that situation where I can't have no more kids.
Well, that's something that I think you need to address, but not necessarily on a first date. You know, get to know somebody, and that's something obviously I think that's very private, and it's very much, you know, your personal life. And when you are dating, I don't think that you need to give everything straight away. You don't need to sit there and say, you know, this is everything about me, this is my medical history, and so forth. But at some point, it's finding that right idea to, you know, that right point to say, this is my current situation, I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like you need to do that when you're in a safe environment. When you've been dating someone long enough that you know that they respect you, that there's some level of communication, that's where I feel that you could open up a little bit more about children and medical history as well.
Because I was going to ask the same thing, because as of right now, I am having, like, I'm wearing braces and my health is declining. And it got me to the point, I'm to the point now, I'm skeptical about what people think about me, or are they going to use me, or are they going to, you know, really be there for me. So I'm like at this standpoint where it's scary.
I think with everything to do with dating, and we'll address this a lot in body confidence and issue, it's like we all have that fear of, you know, insecurities and validation. You know, do we need other people to boost us up? Do we need other people to make us feel better? And if we are in a position of compromised health, I feel like it's a bit more of a struggle, and that's where it's really about challenging yourself and learning to love yourself and work out, you know what, this is part of me, and when I'm dating someone, this is something that you're going to have to eventually be open with, and that's fine, because if someone doesn't respect that, then it's not the type of person you should be pursuing a relationship with. So everyone will have something, whether it's a health issue, whether it's some people are dating with depression and have to say to the person they're dating to, you know, at some point in our relationship I might have a down time, and there's that fear around, will they accept me? So I really feel like in order to eliminate a lot of that fear, it's about building up our confidence and sense of self-worth to go, you know what, I'm a really amazing person, I love who I am, I've got a lot to offer to someone. If they don't accept me for everything about me, then why am I wasting my time in an age where we have so many choices and options? Why are we settling for somebody who might be disrespectful? So I hope that answers your question a little bit. You're looking very... Okay, well, if anyone is interested, I did a documentary on egg freezing. Maybe you've got friends that are interested in having children and dating, and I feel like especially for women these days, it's a driver of a lot of issues with dating. We get to a certain age and we panic and we go, well, hang on a minute, I've got to find someone to settle down with and I've got to find someone to procreate with, so yep, you'll do. And instead of looking at a connection and looking at how we really bond with someone, they're more worried about someone looking at, you know, a future potential husband, wife, you know, mother, father of their children, without actually looking at, are the basics in a relationship there? And I think that's what we really need to question these days, is when we're looking at a divorce rate of 50%, why is it that we're getting divorced? And maybe we're missing out on the basics. So if anyone wants to have a look, it is on YouTube. Okay, so coming back to the dating wish list, I find that these days when we're out there dating, and because we have so many options and choices, we're really going out there with this list of qualities and attributes. Here's the type of person that I want, so therefore I'm going to go shopping for them. And this to me is motivated by what I call the should-do curse. So there's certain things in society that we go, I should do this, or I should do that. Maybe we've been brought up in a family culturally where we should date someone that's a certain type, we should date them for a certain time, maybe we move in with them, the right thing to do is get married, then the right thing to do is to have children. But we've never actually challenged what it is that we want. And this was a lot of what I explored in the book, is empowering people to work out, dump the should-do curse. Because there is no one out there that said to you, or has declared, this is our laws for dating. Obviously, we have laws in society for what's legal and what's illegal, and we're respecting people's boundaries. But when it comes to what the right thing to do is, even to create our relationships, no one has actually sat there and said, this is what you should do. So then why do we have these attributes that we say, the perfect person meets this criteria? So when we go back and look at the basis of a relationship and what we're missing out on, if we're too busy focusing on a dating wish list and physical attributes or superficial attributes, then we're missing out on that basic connection. Now, in order to challenge the dating wish list, write down, this is where it comes down to using our iPhones or writing something down on paper. Look at all the attributes that you've been thinking that you want in another person. Write them down and explore, where did those attributes come from? Was it something that your religious beliefs told you should do? And I'm not saying that necessarily you should ditch that if it's a religious belief, but if you're looking for passion and intimacy and a connection, is someone who's just going to tick the box of a specific religion going to necessarily make you happy? Maybe it's physical attributes, someone that looks a certain way. Is that necessarily going to help you with passion and connection and intimacy? So this is where it's really important. Sometimes we're out there dating with these wish lists and we're not even aware of where these attributes came from or why they're there. So that's where we need to challenge ourselves and go, well, what is it I really want in someone else? And I feel like we need to look at those wish lists and look for feelings. How do I want to feel with someone? Do I want to feel happy? Do I want to feel fulfilled? Do I want to feel loved? And then look at, maybe there's 1, 2, 3 things that are really important to you. That's where maybe a cultural upbringing, a religion, some form of compatibility. But if we go out there with a wish list, then we're constantly going to be left disappointed and unfulfilled. Okay, so the sex and dating bucket list. Hang on, I'm just going to have a bit of water so I don't lose my voice again. So this is one of the things that I really feel that I'm trying to encourage women to do, but obviously there are certain negativities in society when we say to a woman, go out there and explore what you'd like on your sex and dating bucket list. Because I find that a lot of people settle down in relationships and they have that whole FOMO going on. So we all know what FOMO is, fear of missing out. Anyone not know what FOMO is? Okay, so I coined a term, FOMO-sexual. So often people in relationships will go, you know what, I really want to know what that was like, or I feel like I've missed out because I didn't try this particular thing, or I didn't date this particular type of person. And unfortunately, that's when our mind starts to wander, and instead of being present and connected with someone and going, hey, I'm really happy with the relationship that I've got, we're constantly looking at, what am I missing out on? So I feel that it's important that if you are the type of person that's looking at,